There are two special methods that you can add to properties: get and set. It's fairly rare to want to do this, but it's important that you understand the technique. To begin this lesson, open the Shining Stone sample file from your Sample Files folder. And open the code behind file of buy.aspx if it isn't open already. In Lesson 6.1, you learned that your code behind files are actually classes. You can add properties to your code behind files just as you can add a property to any other class. To add a property, add the following code outside any event handlers. Private bool accepted terms. This code creates an ordinary bool property that can be accessed only within the code behind file, since it is private. There's very rarely any reason to make public properties in code behind files. Next, you're going to add a get method to your property. By adding a get method, you can change what is returned when any code requests the value of the property. Change the property to private bool accepted terms, begin curly brackets, get, begin curly brackets, return true, end curly brackets, end curly brackets. Note that there is no longer a semicolon after accepted terms. This very simple get method will always return true whenever anything asks for the value of the accepted terms property. The accepted terms property is now also read-only. If you tried to change the value of accepted terms, you would see an error. Now change the return line to return checkbox accept terms dot checked. Now the accepted terms property will always have the same value as the checked property of the checkbox accept terms control. At the moment, the accepted terms property will retrieve the value of checkbox accept terms dot checked, but the property is read-only, so you can't set its value. To change this, you're going to add a set method. Add the following code after the end of the get method. Set, begin curly brackets, checkbox accept terms dot checked equals value, end curly brackets. Value acts as a placeholder for any value that is assigned to the property. This code will set the checkbox accept terms dot checked property to the value that is provided if you change the value of the accepted terms property. Now add the following code to the page load event handler. Accepted terms equals true. Accepted terms equals true. Since assigning a value to the accepted terms property will call the set method that you created, the checkbox accept terms control will be checked when the page loads. View the page in your browser, and you can see that the checkbox is checked. Your set method successfully passed the assigned value into the control's checked property. Close your browser now. Get and set can be used to add logic to any property when its value is set or retrieved. Everything that you can achieve with get and set can be done using other techniques that you've already learned. For this reason, most developers rarely make use of get and set. Get and set are particularly useful, however, when you want to store a value in viewState. You learned about setting viewState values in Lesson 3.9. By setting a viewState value in the set method and retrieving it in a get method, you can make viewState values easier to work with. Close Visual Studio now, and you've now completed Lesson 7.5. Use get and set.